What's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music, and I recently had my guitar teacher from college named Chris Sherlin from Curious Guitarist. I had him over here at the studio, and we were just, talking about old times and talking about really cool guitar concepts that we've taught and learned through the years. And this is a really good one, so I think you guys are going to enjoy it. It connects chords and scales, chord inversions, and talks about the difference between the major scale and also the Mixolydian. There's a lot of really good information in here that I think will help you, so enjoy.
And so I got to a place on the guitar where I thought I was pretty good. And I remember going to this jam session and we're playing Louie Louie, right? Mm-hmm. And so, everybody's getting set up and the keyboard player was leading the thing. He's like, all right, everybody, let's go. So I started like this. And he stopped the entire band and he's like, well, let's stop. And this is like my first jam session. And he points at me in front of everybody. He's like, that's the wrong chord. And I'm like, what? No, it isn't. It's like, and he says, that E is supposed to be minor. And I didn't even know a minor chord. And I was so humiliated that I thought, I love this thing so much, but I never want to be in that position again. And I thought the whole cycle of like tribal learning is not doing it for me because I just got roasted.
All right, play it with the minor though.
So yeah, so this is the real way to play it. But I didn't even know what a minor chord was back then.
So you played. So if I learned that and wanted to do something with it, I know because of your teachings and my experience many years later, that's a Mixolydian.
Ooh.
What's really cool about that sound, there's two, if it was a Mixolydian, a big sound would be like A and G major,
Right.
And that G major and E minor 7 are substitutes for each other,
right.
Relative major, relative minor. So,
nice.
So instead of that, you could do. Instead of a,
right.
You could do.
So that substitution, you wouldn't have known about that, right? So when you learn an E minor chord or an E minor 7, you don't really know there's a G inside of it until you make those connections.
Yeah, and then from there, if you have studied what is happening, then you could do,
Now you're just showing off.
Hey, who better to show off to than the guy that taught you?
You have come so far. You've passed the Mixolydian test.
From that knowledge, I was like, you got A major, G major, E minor. If I knew those arpeggios, the triad arpeggios even, like. And yeah, I was just very much emphasizing the triad arpeggios there, but one more time, a little bit of that with the classic. Kingfish.
One of the things that sometimes students come to me and ask is like, well, what is with the modes and why is that important? And what, and what you just did there was moving between the pentatonic thing, right? Very, very specific sound. And when you play a scale that has half steps in it, then you get this.
Sounds very different than the pentatonic. Right.
And so going back and forth between those, now you have control of all kinds of different colors.
You've got musical umami.
Right, and the blues umame, right, the pentatonic thing, is a very, very specific color, but this...
And also, the bed of music that you're playing that over can dictate to you if it wants that or not.
Right,
Because if you're hearing, you might not go...
Okay, now it's examples of things that don't fit. All right, you go here.
Okay. Yeah, man, yeah!
That thing you were talking about, using all those notes around a chord. You know, a lot of players, when they first learn triads or something, you can't see all that stuff around it. And so you need a way to do that you can keep and you can hold on to. Because if I just said, well, here's that D chord, and just, do this, then you'd have it for D, but you might not be able to do it for other inversions. Right. So one of the things I try to teach my students is how to nest chords and scales together. So like, let's say you have this A major chord, right? We're just taking a bar chord, and we're just gonna take these the middle three strings, right? This chord comes from a major scale, right? So being able to put a scale around this, and then being able to say, oh, I see all these notes now, right? Now that's stuck there, right? So how do I take that and put it over this A, right? I got to spend some time doing that same thing here so that no matter where I am playing A,
So here's a few things you didn't teach me.
damn it.
Well, there's only so much time and so much money. I mean, we never were lacking in things to learn.
Right.
But here's one of the things you did not teach me is taking that full bar chord
Yeah.
and just muting the G string. So you have the ultimate power chord.
I don't think I've ever done this before. This is a historic moment.
And there's also times where you hear triads in even Motown stuff or like little stabs, but you don't really hear the third.
Yeah.
So it's just muted. And
Hendrix did that a lot.
Yeah, and then that would then bring me to, I first thought about it not by doing that, but by doing the E chord where I mute the G string.
It's pretty powerful.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, okay, so muting the thirds. But the Rush,
cool.
The Rush E5 is this, dude. Doubling up the B. That's so cool. Yeah. Which then brought me to then figuring out for a five upper register, five chord.
Guitar players learn a chord or two or bar chords, and you think that's the library, but really, like you're demonstrating, there are 3 notes in an A chord, and they're all over the neck. This is a great example. Same thing, right? So this chord is just E flat, but listen to it with the 5 in the bass and the 3rd in the bass. Totally different, right?
By the way, you taught me that. You taught me that in a lesson.
Yeah.
And just the concept. Really? Yeah, you taught me that.
This is old information for you. Yeah, so it's really experimentation, and then you take it and you iterate on it, and you
Yeah.
change something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just talking to a student about this. The student was like, "Oh, how do you play over blues changes? I get lost with all the chords, and should I be changing scales and all this stuff?" And I was like, "Just take a lick like this, right? A, and then just change the last note. Same lick." Now, I'm not playing a lot of scales. I'm not even thinking about the chords or scales, but here comes D. Same exact lick, right? And I'm just changing that last note. Doing some variation. Now I just got to find an E to land on. I'm going to do the same lick, right? To the D.
I remember one lesson, once again, I could, see myself in the practice room with you, and we did a lesson that I ended up being a part of everything I learned from there, which was just the upper 3-string triads,
Yeah.
the A major shape. So for D major, the A shape.
Triads. Yep. Yeah.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's always fun to get together with my old guitar teacher and reminisce and still learn new stuff together. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the information and watching us hang out again too. Also, just let me know other stuff you'd like to see in the comments below. Thank you for supporting. Hope to see you again.